Hi Vix, how are you?
I'm good, Maglani. How are you?
I'm very good, very good. तो आज क्या क्या कर रही है मतलब हाउ इज इट इन सैन फ्रांसिस्को? धूप निकली हुई है, क्या है, सुबह है?
बहुत बहुत अच्छी धूप निकली हुई है। मैंने एकदम क्या बताऊं जो बहुत ही प्यारी धूप। मैंने एकदम लगता है
See,
बस।
the thing is, you have sunlight 11 months of the year, so you don't value it. We have it like 1 month, maybe 2 months of in the year,
अ,
so we value it. हमारी भी धूप निकली हुई है पिछले 2-3 हफ्ते से।
अच्छा अच्छा
मजा आ
नहीं।
रहा है,
तो
मजा आ रहा है।
टूरिस्ट
लेकिन
टूरिस्ट की
एलएलएम्स
बता रहे
में
हम
तो
लोग।
हर हफ्ते ही एक नई चीज आ जाती है।
यस यस, हम लोग जो आग की बात कर रहे हैं कि
हम्म।
देखो, द गोल ऑफ दिस एआई पॉडकास्ट इज टू अंडरस्टैंड द आर्क एंड वेयर वी आर हेडेड, इंस्टेड ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि आज क्या हुआ या कल क्या हुआ। क्योंकि जो मीडिया है वो फोकस करता है कि आज की सनसनीखेज क्या है, बट आई थिंक हम लोग फोकस करने की चेष्टा कर रहे हैं कि आर्क क्या है, और हमने जो पुराने प्रिडिक्शंस किए थे, आर दे कमिंग ट्रू और नॉट।
Absolutely. And in my view, you hit the nail on the head because what we want to do is we use this week's news. There
यस
is news, what is happening this week, and then try to fit the pieces and say what is going to happen next month or
यस
next year.
यस
And possibly we'll get a lot of these things right. We'll get some of them wrong because no one has a crystal ball here.
Yes. So the idea is that we have some long-term predictions and seeing how every week's news basically, does it change our long-term prediction? How do we modify that? And this also helps us because as an investor yourself, you're making decisions on long-term predictions. And as a entrepreneur myself, I'm making decisions based on where I expect the world to be a year, 2 years from now.
So, Vix, what is long term? What's your definition of long term right now, especially in the context of AI? Because I can't think more than, as in, for me, 5 years is the longest time I
Yes,
can predict.
yes, absolutely. I think
After that, what is going to happen, singularity onwards, I can't predict.
yes, yes. I think just say 1800s, may people didn't have electricity, and then 1900, early 1900s, we have electricity, and everything changes. So it similarly makes uh, that we don't know what will happen 5 years from now. It's hard to predict, but sorry, I have some allergies. But even being able to predict 5 years or even 1 year, 2 year, 3 year in this earthquake kind of an environment where so much is changing all around us, that's a big skill. That's a like I'm telling you, millions of dollars will be made based on the discussion that we are having right now.
Yeah.
So let me point out the first way to make millions of dollars. The first thing that we've been talking about is that look, Ella Marina, the leaderboard, people are coming out and saying, Acha, now I am the leader, now I am the leader, but the market is not moving. But the customers who have gotten attached to the product, they're not changing the product anymore because आप सोच के देखो, if you have an employee who is smart employee, right? Somebody else comes and you gotten used to working with that employee, and somebody else comes and says, oh, I'm smarter. You're not going to fire your smart employee and hire the smarter employee, right? Because the smart employee is good enough for your work. So what has happened? So I think this long-term prediction is being validated because now we have a new person on the leaderboard. Now, if people remember from our last week's podcast, somebody who was number 10 or 12 last week has now shot up to number 2, because what Facebook did was it released Llama 4. If you guys remember, last week or 2 weeks ago, we had shown that Llama 3 was number 10 or 12 on the leaderboard. And I think I had said that Facebook is now going to release Llama 4 and that should jump up. So let me bring up what I see on the leaderboard here.
Vix, while you're bringing this up,
Hmm.
do you remember the history of Llama? So Llama, for some people who have not seen it yet, it is Facebook's LLM model.
Yes.
And I particularly, personally, I loved the name because
Yes.
Llama has LLM in the name itself,
Yeah.
right? You have LLM and then you put just two A's somewhere
Right.
and it becomes Llama. So
And
I
also,
like that, but Facebook's LLM model is called Llama. This is
yes.
Zuckerberg's. I don't know how the companies are structured, whether it's Facebook's or whether it's Meta's, probably,
No,
because
it
it
is
has
Meta's now. Now
Facebook.
there is no entity called
It's
Facebook.
training on Facebook and probably it's training on WhatsApp also, but we'll come to that in a
Yes.
bit.
Yes.
What it's training on. Let's see. What are you putting up here?
So here is the chatbot leaderboard, and if you see,
Mm.
Llama, which used to be way down, it was like number 10 or 12, has now, with the new release, has shot up to number 2. Now, though it has shot up
Yeah, we've
number,
been seeing these leaderboards. We've been
yes,
seeing these leaderboards for the last two, three, four episodes,
yes,
and I've never seen Llama in the top five.
yeah, it was never in top. It used to be in top 5 when it first got released a year ago, and then
Right.
for the last year, ChatGPT, Anthropic, and then X moved up, and then Gemini moved up. I think we should make a movie of how this leaderboards has changed over the
Hmm.
last 1 year, and you will see there's movement, but still the most of the revenue is still captured by ChatGPT, and the second revenue is captured by Anthropic. So there's a lot of what we are seeing is that there's a big first mover advantage in this industry where even if the second mover and the third mover, which is say Google is the second mover, Llama is the third mover, and X.com is the Grok is the fourth mover.
Hmm.
See, these are four different companies, trillion-dollar companies, each one of them. X, like not well, the owner and his assets are worth $1 trillion, but this Grok is by like a big guy, ChatGPT by big guys, Face Llama by Facebook big guys, Gemini by Google by big guys. All these four big guys, they are going up and down, flipping the positions, but most of the revenue is being made by the first mover. This is the
But
first mover
but
advantage.
if I go down, it's
Yes,
still the big guys. It is a different model of those big guys.
it is. It
Because
is
right
the it
after
is the
that is
lower version.
GPT 4.5. After
Yes,
that is another Gemini. And
yes,
again, these are just their previous models, right?
yes. These are
Or,
just
or, or the new upcoming models.
yeah. So no, 2.5 is the latest model, and GPT 4.5. Yeah,
No, Gemini. Gemini
yeah,
2.5 is the latest, but
yes,
Gemini 2.0 is still in the top 6, 7.
yes, yes. And then if you see after these big four American capitalism driven companies, then we have the our communist camaraderie. Uh, our communist
Yes.
comrade, DeepSeek. So these five guys, they are basically fighting for the top spot. But the interesting thing to understand is that the money is still being made by the first mover, ChatGPT. So
Hmm.
this movement is like saying, Acha, I'm a little bit smarter. I've gotten 2% more marks, but that doesn't move the market.
Yes.
So what is the investment opportunity here? So the investment, there are two investment theses here, right?
Actually, Vix, can I just ask you one thing
Yes.
for the viewers and also for me? Can we see how do we read some of these? If you can zoom in, I want to understand what does rank UB and your rank style, what's the difference in these? And which
Yes.
one are we seeing? We are actually seeing the UB rank.
Yeah, rank. We are seeing UB rank. Let me. I want to hopefully give a demo.
Yes.
So let me.
I mean,
I
how
have,
can viewers
yes.
who probably learning about this and says before we go into how they can make money, what's happening on these
Yes. So,
leaderboards?
so check this out. So this is my
Yeah.
ChatGPT app on my phone. I have it
Mm.
open. I'm going to turn on the camera. So now my camera is open. I'm going to show it to Hi ChatGPT. I'm looking at this table on LM Arena, and there's a column called Rank UB and Rank Style, and then the model name. Can you explain me how is Rank UB different from Rank Style?
Sure. On the LMSIS Arena table, rank UB usually stands for the rank based on overall user based voting. That means how users generally rate the model's performance overall. On the other hand, rank style focuses on how users rate the model based on style, how well the model's responses match the preferred style or tone that users like. So basically, rank UB is about overall performance, while rank style is more about how much users like the way the model communicates.
Okay.
Very well
So,
said.
so
Very well said.
ChatGPT,
I've pretty much
I want
understood.
to introduce you to my podcast partner Migs here. Can you see him?
Hey there, Migs. Nice to meet you. I can see you on the screen. Hope you're doing great. What's the podcast about?
So we do this podcast every Wednesday on AI, where we are trying to predict how AI will evolve over the next 1 or 2 years, and we take that weekly news to modulate our prediction. Miglani is a venture capitalist in London. Mix is a venture capitalist in London, and he uses these predictions to make investment decisions.
I think that was a very good summary about rank UB and rank style because they're
Yes.
slightly different, but at the same time, what that tells me is if you see rank UB, the user base rank,
Yeah.
these things are so close, one, two, 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 three,
Yes.
right? And then if you see rank style, they're slightly different. So Llama is rank style is fifth, but user base is second. That
Yes.
means it's like just coming up right now. And I
Yes.
think that shows you it's almost like when you analyze stocks, it's like what's your 100-day average versus what's your last week's
Yes. And
average.
I think this also gave us an opportunity to talk about, like, now the AI on my phone can see what I'm seeing. Like, I don't know how many of our viewers have actually experienced this. AI can see what I'm seeing, and I can ask, like, what is it that you see? Can you describe what you see? And it can tell us. And I think in one of the next podcasts, if you want, in this podcast, we can have the AI sitting beside us and participating in this podcast. Even
I think we should try it once.
yeah.
It may or may not work out as well as we are predicting, but let's see because nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Yes, very well said, McLaren.
So Vix, if we go forward, there is an arena score,
Yes.
which is leading the rankings. So I think the arena score is what gives you the rank UB.
Yes.
95% confidence interval, I can understand. We're not going to have a statistics or maths class here for people. You can Google what a
Yes.
confidence interval is. Broadly, it is like what do you take out the outliers, the 5% outliers,
Yes.
and then say what the average is.
Yes.
And votes is obviously, but the votes seem to be very, very, very different. Like some of the votes have so Llama has become number two,
Hmm.
but it has only 2,500 votes.
Yeah, because it just got released. It got released in the
Right. So if the
something
votes
like,
are less, that
yes.
means it's probably very new, but it
Yes.
has shot up in the rankings.
Yes, exactly. And what happens, what we have seen with votes, if people watched our election podcast when BJP fought elections, Miglani was here in Silicon Valley with me, and we are able to predict how the election will turn out with only uh, 20% of the votes had come in. And then I think that's the power of statistics, that even with a small sample, even with 2,520 votes, whereas Grok and GPT have 12,000 votes, 5 times more, we can predict where the market is moving.
Yes, absolutely. And then if we go forward, organization, I think that's pretty clear. But what's striking to me, if I just go down the list, Google, Meta, OpenAI, what you were talking about, it's these big companies. But then you go beyond the top four, it's like Google, OpenAI, what we were talking. It's like the different models of the same companies
Exactly.
is coming. So it's like all of it's just these companies, and then I've never seen this, and this is the first time I'm seeing that at number 12 there is an Alibaba AI also. Again,
Yes.
one more Chinese AI.
Yes.
So after
Yes.
the US LLMs, there is an increasing number of Chinese LLMs that are coming in. No other
Chinese.
country, I think, is represented. If you go down, is
Yes.
there any other country apart from US and a
No.
few China?
No.
No.
If you look, is DeepSeek, Alibaba,
What is Zipu? Zipu seems Chinese,
Chinese.
but
Yeah.
I don't know. I've
Cohere,
never heard the name.
Anthropic are
What is
American.
Cohere?
Is it's a
I'll have
light.
to Google it, or
Yeah.
I'll have to chat GPT it now.
Yes. So let's try this, right? I'm gonna open up the ChatGPT app on my phone.
Hmm.
I'm gonna do this, and I'm opening up the AI app. I'm turning on the camera. So uh, in this, I am seeing Cohere, which is over here. Can you tell me more about Cohere? Is this American company, and is it a derivation of a model, or is it like a model trained from base, or is it like a Llama derivation?
Cohere is indeed a company based in North America. They focus on building large language models and providing them as a service for various applications. Their models are typically trained from scratch on diverse datasets, not directly derived from Llama or other specific models. They have their own training processes and focus on commercial and enterprise use cases. So Cohere's models are standalone and not just derivatives of other popular models like Llama.
So I'm noticing, like Meglani, my colleague over here, he pointed out something very interesting that all we see in this top chart is either American companies or Chinese companies. When can we predict a non-American and a non-Chinese company to appear on this leaderboard? So, what's your opinion on that?
That's a great observation. Right now, a lot of the top models come from companies in the US and China because those regions have significant investments and infrastructure for AI development. But we're already seeing emerging efforts from Europe, Canada, and other regions. For example, the EU is actively supporting AI research, and there are some promising startups in places like Canada, the UK, and Israel. As AI becomes more democratized and global collaboration increases, we can definitely expect to see more non American and non Chinese companies making it to the top rankings. It's just a matter of time as innovation spreads globally. That's a great observation. Right now, a lot of top AI models come from American and Chinese companies because they have substantial resources and investment in AI research.
So
But we're starting to
I have a prediction that in 2025, this year, we still have around 8 months to go. I don't think any non-American and non-Chinese company will break into the top 10 on LM Arena leaderboard. What do you think about this prediction?
That's an interesting prediction. The AI landscape is definitely dominated by American and Chinese companies right now, especially at the top tier. But it's possible that a European or other international player could break into the top 10, especially with the pace of AI development. It might depend on breakthroughs in research, access to high quality data, and sufficient funding. But as of now, American and Chinese companies do have a strong lead.
Thank you, ChatGPT. I'll talk to you later.
Vix, I think that is we've had a tremendous display of what ChatGPT or any core AI can do for you. For
Yes,
our viewers who are just learning every week, we are learning every week. Things are happening every week, and we are trying to predict the future. We are trying to share it with you. Uh, this is one of the most practical uses where
yes,
you can
yes,
get anything.
yes,
It's like it's not just the voice based thing, it is way more than Google. And when I say Google, I'm not talking about Gemini because Google has now incorporated
yes,
Gemini. I'm talking about Google plus 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 is what Chat GPT and Gemini and all these models are now giving you.
yes.
There's one Vix, there's one more research which I did while the AI was helping us while you were on it. And being an investor, that's the first thing I do. Is how much has this company raised? That
Yes.
was the first question I asked or Googled. I didn't do GPT because information is something which I think there is still some risk of error in the
Yeah.
LLMs.
Mhm.
So I Googled it, and now I found out that they have raised about $1 billion.
Cohere,
The last round itself was $500 million, 500 million.
how long ago was that?
Just less than a year ago, it was
Wow,
middle of 2024, was
wow.
500 million. It was a Series C, D, E round, like a fairly big round, 500 million, obviously. And they count themselves. I mean, the top investors in this are people like Index Ventures, Tiger Global, even like Salesforce Ventures. I mean, Mire Asset, they do so many mutual funds and public market investments. They have also
I mean,
invested
I'm
in this.
thumbs down on this investment. I'm thumbs
Hmm.
down. This is going to
But
be
why would you say that?
because look, we already have people who have gained the mind share, and mind share is the most important factor here. OpenAI has gained the has mind share, has captured 90% of the market. With after OpenAI, we have Gemini, we have Anthropic, we have Llama, which is open source, and then we have Chinese models, and Cohere is below them.
I
Even
get
if
you.
they're able
I
to
get
go
you.
up,
But think about it this way, that Llama was not in the top 10. Suddenly it has jumped up. And that's why we are doing these weekly podcasts because DeepSeek no one had heard about a
Yes.
DeepSeek. I mean, forget being, they were out of the top 1 million.
Yes.
They were
No,
not
no, Nirmani,
existing.
look, in the podcast, we correctly predicted that DeepSeek will increase the GPU demand.
But
And
after
people,
DeepSeek came in, after
yeah,
DeepSeek
after
came in,
DeepSeek came in,
not
but that's
before.
when everybody sold Nvidia stock, right? So people who listened to us and bought Nvidia would have done better. But forget about the tariff now that has been imposed and the prices are down. But just the DeepSeek event, we're able to predict that the GPU demand will actually go up and not go down.
And I think, Vix, you mentioned tariff. I have to tell our viewers that on Friday we do like everything under the sun podcast. It's a live stream, and we'll definitely discuss tariffs. We didn't have that live stream last Friday because guess what? We were just trying to absorb the shock, the initial shock, just like everyone under the sun. So we just didn't have anything to speak, which would have been like anything useful for. It wasn't useful for myself. I didn't know what was happening, but I think we are starting to form those opinions. So make sure that you subscribe and follow that Friday podcast.
Yeah.
But Vix, coming back, just one very quick one. Why, as an investor, I'm not as bearish about this company as you are, and
Okay.
that is I also not just saw that what who has invested in this company, but also how they are different. And again, this is for a seasoned investor. This is like a five minute, 3 minute read where you can just drill down one or two top points. Should I or should I not invest? Should I even consider it for the future? And the one thing that struck me is how they are different is they are not even doing B2C. So when we are seeing these, a lot of these ratings and votes, the number of votes and all the ratings is all the B2C. I
Yeah.
mean, you, me, a lot of our viewers is B2C, consumers. Consumers are not using that, and the reason is because they are developing customized models for B2B, only for businesses. And probably, again, this is now taking a step forward from what I've read in the last 3 or 4 minutes, is maybe they are white labeling customized AI models for companies.
Sure.
And
You're
I
right.
think that is one of the biggest reasons why uh, I feel scared that some companies who have spent like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 6 months, 9 months in developing their customized GPT models, customized AI models based upon one of these LLMs,
Yes.
do they have a future? Because
No.
if some of these are doing B2B marketing, they are developing it already. And
Yes.
and in the B2C model, I can develop everything. We discussed it in our last episode. I
Yes.
can make half of it in our and so if you've not seen our last episode or the demo that Vix gave us, I think you should. We'll put a link somewhere here, somewhere, and yes. But what do you think about it? I mean, is it even worthwhile developing something?
So, Meglani, you're very right. Look at this tweet, okay? And this is what you've been telling me.
Who's this?
Uh, this is a doctor, okay? This is a doctor based out of the UK. He's never programmed in his life, and he just said that he made a software that would have costed him 1 or 2 years and 100 to 150,000 pounds, and he developed it for 75 pounds. And he was able to do it in 5 days. And this application has a medication tracker, a sleep tracker, a workout tracker with a built-in 150 exercise database, a weight and BMI tracker, symptom checker, and a premium content and course area. For $75, he was able to develop it.
Wow,
So
75 pounds, which
75
is
pounds.
probably $100.
Yeah, so
Big
yeah,
difference.
yeah. He was able to develop it. So what does it tell us about the future? What it tells us about the future is that a lot of people used to depend on programmers, that they could do their job much better if they had a programmer. Like you have come and told me that because I am going to use Vix, I can use AI to develop my AI tools for my investment purposes. And the big deflationary impact that AI will have on programmer salaries, right? On all the Infosys and Wipro and TCS jobs that are in India, right? And the point that you are making, that now when even AI can be used to develop an AI. So if somebody has developed Cohere and saying, oh, my Cohere is only for venture capitalists. Now a venture capitalist like Miglani will come and say, okay, boss, I have a weekend. I'm going to use AI and use DeepSeek or use Llama to develop an AI for venture capital. I don't need Cohere. So that's why I'm negative on Cohere's investment thesis. Like those people.
I think we should. So I hadn't heard about Cohere, and I'm like, why not? If they have raised like 500 million,
Yes,
I should be. But I'm going to track this more carefully. So in the coming weeks, I think let's see where it performs, how it performs, and let's also go down some of these tables and see. My gut feel is that it will go up, and the reason it is lower down in the league tables is because it's got less votes. Why does it have less votes? Is because it's not a consumer led model. It's
yeah,
not, you and I are not using it,
yeah,
right? Only some business owners are using it, and therefore it's got a very limited voting base. That's my gut feel. Again, this is based on the last 5 or 10 minutes of our discussion, but we I am definitely going to follow this, follow Cohere, and just like we are going to follow every LLM model, what we get out of their rankings, what we feel about the long term view.
yeah,
And my short term view, here is my short term view of the day based on what you showed us, Vix. And my short term view is that if people like Cohere might be successful with £1 billion of funding, $1 billion of funding already, possibly more to come, then is it useful for people to develop their own wrappers around other LLMs and either raise investments through angels and VCs, or even think that they are going to be the biggest just because they've developed it? Because, like you showed us, it costs £75 for someone to develop it today.
no, Miglani,
I think it has become a website. I mean,
yeah,
today, imagine 5 years ago, making a website, you used to hire people and they'll take a month to do a website. Now you've got loads of agencies, GoDaddy, Wix, this and that, where you can, at a click of a button, your website will be 80% ready. And after that, you can do your fine tuning. So,
yeah.
is that the way AI based LLM wrappers are going?
No, I really like this episode today because it's helping my own thinking evolve as I'm talking to you. And one thing is very clear. I made my first website in the year 2000. At that time, even making a website itself was a big project.
It was a project in itself.
It
It
was
was like, I mean,
a 3 month
there
project
were
itself.
companies who were doing it. They were charging like thousands and thousands of pounds. I
Yes,
remember.
yes. And
And
now in
right now
20,
you can do it in £5.
yeah, and now it's point and click. And so I think the same thing is going to happen to software applications. You need a software application, pay £5, you get that software application, custom made just for you the way you want it. So
And
very
I think let's, with that thought of the day,
yes,
that's our final prediction of the future as of today.
yes.
Bear in
But
mind, we can keep changing, because if
yeah,
something else happens and we're like, oh no, what happened?
yeah.
So we will keep changing, we will keep updating you. So make sure that you like and subscribe this, and maybe follow our future episodes if you liked any of what we are talking about it, and if you want to follow AI generally.
So just the way, so our prediction is that just the way 25 years ago, it used to cost tens of thousands of pounds and dollars to make a website, and now it's cost £5 or $5 to make a website. Similarly, applications and softwares that today cost tens of thousands of dollars and pounds will cost $5 or £5 to be made.
And I think we need to, next episode, we need to discuss what does that mean for the software industry? What does that mean for the big outsourcing giants? What does that mean for anyone?
And what does
Uh,
that mean for lakhs and lakhs of programmers which are making their uh, money doing programming in India, which can now be done by Manos and ChatGPT and Gemini?
Yes, yes. I think we should. And we will continue discussing these topics because it either directly impacts you if you're in the IT field, or
Mm.
it impacts you as a customer, because as a customer, if the cost of production is going down, then you'll get it cheaper.
Yes.
So there is always the yin and the yang. There's a balance, and where will we reach? We don't know, but we are going to find out and help you find out along with us. So catch us every Wednesday. Uh, we'll be here next Wednesday, and yeah, adieu.
Bye. Bye.